Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello to you and welcome back to the channel where you join me today at Topaz Detailing, because as tradition dictates, with a brand new car like the new Porsche 911 GT3, we are here for the preparation work before I take the car out to even drive it for my first ever mile on the roads. So at the moment, I've not driven this car, but we're here for the new car detailing and the installation of paint protection film, as well as a bit of an inside look at some of the more advanced techniques used by Topaz. So we'll catch up with Nabil to carry out that work very shortly. Then I'm actually about to disappear off down under. I'm going to New Zealand and Australia. You've probably seen some of that already by this point. This video will be coming out though just before we embark on that first drive off to the Nürburgring. We're calling it the Ring Wing Ting. I'm taking my 4 cars that have wings on the back, the new GT3 driving for the first time ever, also my 675 LT Spider, Vantage GT8 and the AMG GT R, all cars that have been here through Topaz. I am very excited about that already, and that's not to mention the trips I've got beforehand. So let's get the car inside, catch up with Nabil and find out what we're going to be doing with the GT3. It's almost as if, though, that green has become the completely normal colour around here at the moment. My car is PTS, Porsche Paint to Sample, Gelbgrün. I've told you that many times by this point, but it's alongside a very green BMW M4 and also a green Huracan Performante at the back. But as always, lovely cars around, 360 Challenge Stradale, 720S. We've got a 488 with some tailor-made parts, GT3s and the like, Vanquish S, all coming through to have their work carried out at Topaz, as well as a GT3 RS. Actually quite interesting to have the 991.1 generation RS next to the .2 generation GT3 side by side here outside Topaz. But we'll get the car fired up, take it inside. It's been under a cover since I had a truck bring it here from Porsche Centrum in Amsterdam. So obviously I bought the car in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, delivered it to Germany to register it and get the number plates set up and all of that side of things sorted out, and then trucked it here, which I know is a little bit around the houses, but I wanted to bring the car through Topaz. I also wanted to take the car on this trip to the Nürburgring along with the others, and it's easier to bring one car to where the other 3 are than 3 to where this one would have been. So this was the logical way around to do it. Let's get the car fired up and inside. It's quite funny still having the Porsche Centrum Amsterdam badge at the back. Ah, Nabil, how are you?
Hello, how are you doing?
Good to have you back. Good. How's things?
Not bad, how are you?
I'm very good. Of course, hey, you've got the key. Yeah. Perfect.
Cool. Looks
so
nice.
You're going to have to be the man responsible for getting the car inside.
Let's do it.
You guys probably remember Nabil from the videos we've done before, bringing the AMG GT R back to life.
Exactly.
Restoring it in a very big way after all of my trips around the snow, which it might need again.
I was about to say, I don't know what it looks like now, but
a different topic. But also applying the PPF. Well, today is going to be a slightly different look at things. But let's get the car in, I'll film it.
I'll move it aside and we can go, yeah?
Perfect. Nabil, it's a left-hand drive car. That side.
Good point.
Yes. So you're actually driving it before me. I'm a little bit jealous.
Oh, really? I'll take it out for a spin.
Yeah? Good. Let me know how it is. Here we go then, car inside.
That's really cool.
It's a nice touch, isn't it?
That is really,
First time
cool.
I've ever had something that personalised. Do you think you can PPF this?
We can? Yeah.
That would be quite nice actually, to stop it getting damaged.
Yeah, I'm sure it's very expensive.
It's definitely enough. From Porsche exclusive manufacturer. A few touches, like the PTS paint and the key, of course.
Yeah.
So.
It's looking good. Well, it's going to look better.
It is, but impressively, or certainly from my understanding, from what I've learned, this has come in quite nice shape.
It has done, yeah.
The reflections are good, there's only very little hologram effects.
Yeah, yeah. I think what's happened is because it's a PTS colour, I think they've obviously gone over it and make sure that's absolutely 100% from their point of view. And it's just nice to see a car coming in and it's actually pretty good standard, you know, in terms of the finish.
Because I know this is the question everybody always asks me, at least, is why do you bring a brand new car to somewhere like this? What's the point? Because it's brand new, right? It should be perfect, in theory.
Yeah, in theory it should be. But
it's a manual process.
Exactly, it's a manual process, and the manufacturer only has a set time to build the car. The last thing they need is to spend another 30-40 hours to rectify the paintwork. Yeah. It's one of those things where they have to draw a line and go, this is good enough.
This is what we're happy with.
Yeah,
exactly. And then if you want your car to be even better, that's why you come here.
See me.
Exactly. Come see you, who I'm going to hand the camera over to very shortly to take the reins and basically talk us through the process on the GT3. Well, camera over to you. Thank you very much. I will see you when I'm back from the other side of the world again.
Yeah.
Ready to drive this?
Good day, mate.
Awesome. See ya. There has been a change of plans. So you were expecting to see Nabil right now talking you through the process. Sadly though, he's been rather unwell, which means I'm going to take over from here, having just got back from my trip down under. So I'm back in the UK. I had an amazing time in Australia and New Zealand, but now we're at Topaz to catch up on the progress with the GT3. So the guys have been able to shoot some videos in Nabil's absence for me to talk you through. So let's get started with the car as it goes through its process in the wash bay, being masked up, detailed, and then ultimately some paint protection applied before I catch up with you again afterwards to take a look at the car inside and let you know a little bit more about what is coming up with the Ring Wing Ting, the trip that we're going on with the AMG GT R, the GT3, the 675 LT, and the Vantage GT8. So let's get started running through this process, perfecting the GT3. Let's get started bringing the GT3 into the wash bay, and the first part of this process is to clean the wheels. An area normally prone to a lot of dirt and grime, it's important to scrub and brush and get into every nook and cranny, even using a small brush to attack the finer parts of the calipers before rinsing them down. Then it's on to the Iron X. Now Iron X reacts with things that are left on the surface of the bodywork, and this creates almost a bleeding style effect, where you can see the purple blood dripping off, and in this case contrasting very nicely against the bright green of the paintwork. Obviously it's then important to wash it all off the surface, from the top of the car down towards the bottom, before scrubbing into some of the smaller parts of the car, for example around the headlight washers, under the bonnet badge, and underneath the door handles to make sure that no compound or anything is left around the car. Then it's time for one of the most popular parts of this entire process, the snow foam. Quite literally looking like the car is receiving a complete layer of snow all over it. This is again about loosening up anything that could be left around the bodywork, the panel gaps, or hard to reach areas. It's allowed to sit for a moment before again being rinsed off from top to bottom, and this process with snow foam could be repeated 2 or 3 times just to make sure that no little bits of dirt and dust are left ahead of starting the shampoo. So running over the entire car using the softest microfiber mitts, just again to get under every area, underneath the rear wing in this case, around the awkward parts, before the shampoo is rinsed off. Then it's drying the car, patting down on the softest of microfiber towels before an inspection, and this is where we start to look for any defects in the paintwork. This is done using lights and eventually, as you'll see in a moment, using microscopes, but this is exactly what we're looking for. The swirl marks in the paintwork, the sanding marks, pitting that you can see from the factory. Here on the side you can see some holograms where almost the light doesn't have a completely clean reflection, and this means that ultimately doesn't give the shine that the paint really is available to offer. Now this is the microscope. This is used to look in an awful lot of detail. For example, with a level 5 detail from Topaz, this is where you can see up close, completely in detail. For example here, small scratches, just to make sure you go to that final degree to make the car absolutely perfect. Now, to get the detailing started, the car needs to be masked up. Because machines will be used against the paintwork, every single bit of plastic or the wheels needs to be protected before this polish is used on the machine polisher and gone over all of the paintwork. Now this will be done using different cutting materials, different pads on the polisher, a specific process to go through the detailing. We've discussed that in more detail before. Then it's clayed down just to get rid of any excess residue that comes from the compound that's used. That again is dried using a microfiber just to make sure the surface is pristine ahead of where we start now, wetting down with slip solution ahead of applying the paint protection film. Now we've demonstrated this process before, but no harm in showing you a little bit of how it works as a quick summary. Obviously you have the protection film itself, which is pre-cut using Topaz's templates. It's positioned into place with the corners being approached first. That's using a stick solution, and then it's down to the squeegee to completely remove the excess water and ensure the perfect finish. And I actually find it quite mesmerizing just to watch this process and see all of the bubbles being moved. Now, each of the templates has specific elements pre-cut out, for example, for the towing eye at the front of the car. So when it's placed loosely into position, the most important thing is to get it exactly bang on. Then it can be run around in a gentle process just to go through every single part and make sure it has the perfect finish, including now wrapping around the surfaces and edges to make sure that no lead edges literally will pick up stone chips along the line. And again, around back, the process continues, the rear bumper being done here, the awkward large components first, so you can see how the protection film is back rolled, 2 people for the job, sometimes 3 depending on the size of the part that's being fitted. But of course this is done on every single, in this case, green part that you can see on the car, the bumpers, the flanks, the doors, the roof, all the smaller areas, for example, the door mirrors. But it's the same process continued throughout. Now this is interesting, removing the factory OEM paint protection film, which we'll see more about later on. This is done so it doesn't create almost an air bubble around the side when this larger part is installed. Even the headlights can be done, an awkward shape with the curvature they have, but this is why the templates are made, just to ensure that when it is all done, as you see here, the perfect finish. The car's then wiped down, cleaned, prepared before it's going to receive a ceramic coating, which you can do on top of the paint protection film just to give it even more shine, even more gloss. So a specific process to apply and install the ceramic coating and then microfiber it down on top. But as you can see, delicate, gentle, slow is the name of the game, just to make sure every single part of the car is covered in full. We're back in the room where the Topaz skin on the GT3 is virtually complete. The final stages will be done ahead of departure tomorrow for the road trip and first ever drive in my new car. But let's take a little look around it. And it's been amazing to watch and see how Topaz have evolved over time. And I'll talk a little bit more about how the protection film process or templates have developed as well. But looking around it, under the lights here, it is incredibly shiny, very, very clean, immaculately so, but ready to be driven. So the protection film that's been applied across every single part of the car, even things like the headlights, for example, has developed. There are no knife blades or anything that go anywhere near the car, as you've seen, but it's now wrapping around the edges. So new templates, for example, that basically mean no leading edges are vulnerable to damage. And even if you come down to the side here, they put on an additional part on these incredibly vulnerable side, the way they're flared out for the arches. So there's a replication of the manufacturer style, just to have a double layer. So when this starts getting battered and bruised, you can straight up replace it without having to change the entire panel, which you'll notice runs the full length of the bottom over around the rear and up over the roof to the front of the A-pillar as well. So you don't want to have to change that unless you absolutely need to. So that's a benefit. Obviously things like the mirrors are done multiple parts with completely invisible lines that run around the edge of the car. The hologramming that we saw earlier on the panels has all been cleaned up by the detailing, and everything just looks completely immaculate and wonderful and waiting to have number plates put back on it. Now, one interesting topic of discussion that comes up quite often at the moment is ceramic coating versus paint protection film, and they're actually quite different things. Ceramic coating is about making a car look glossier, shinier. Paint protection film is the extra layer that will prevent a lot of stone chips. Obviously, it's possible still to be penetrated, but a lot more protection than you'd have if you didn't. Now, this has actually been ceramic coated on top of the paint protection film to make it look even shinier. Hence, as you can see on the bonnet here, the reflections all over the whole car, shining out very brightly against a much darker end of the room in that direction. Although this is very much Skittles going on over here with the bright colours. But you have no idea how much I'm looking forward now to taking this car out on the roads and driving it properly. Even, actually, if we just come and have a look inside here, the illuminated door sills have protection layer over the center section to make sure it doesn't get scratched or damaged in any way. Obviously still with the seat covers, but we'll be taking these off and using those harnesses very soon. Looking forward to that. So we've still got, 17 kilometers on the clock. The car is waiting for a proper leg stretch as we embark now on this adventure, nicknamed the Ring Wing Ting. We'll be departing from here in London with all 4 cars tomorrow. I'll be driving the GT3 as we head towards Paris to meet up with some of you guys there. Then from Paris the next day we'll head over towards Germany, and then on Friday it's Car Freitag. Car Friday,
carnage at the Nürburgring, opening weekend, Easter weekend, where we're going to see what we get up to over the weekend. But what I do know is it's going to be awesome. We'll have another meetup there at Apex with Misha and the crew as well. So looking forward to that an awful lot. So straight back from down under and straight into the thick of it with a road trip. A big thanks as always to Topaz and the team here who have worked to get the car ready and prepared for this adventure, and basically to everyone actually who's been completely part of it at Porsche Centrum Amsterdam, because it seems strange to say it, I've seen the car a lot, but I've not driven it, and I can't wait for that. So make sure you come back, check it out tomorrow as we get started on this journey. Fingers crossed the weather stays on side for as long as it can possibly. But that is it for now. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. We'll come back with plenty more things from Topaz in the future, as always. So I appreciate your support, and I'll catch up with you again tomorrow on the road to Paris. Cheers.